I think what's important is that there be I don't know if it's a pregame plan, so that you have a message that both you and I and the staff feel comfortable about. I'll tell you what I think this committee, where they're coming from, and where I think we as a board and as a school district, we need to take that role somehow. I think they're envisioning what they would like to be able to say is, let's say we're going to generate, I'm making up a number, revenues of $500 million. So we want the ballot question to read, this is the committee now, we want the ballot question to read something to the effect that this money will be used to renovate older schools through older school revitalization and technology, and focus it primarily on that. That is what your role is. And so somehow there's got to be a way to communicate. Certainly I know there's a way before the meetings, but I think at the meeting, I think it would be important for the whole committee to hear this board's opinion upon, how you would address the fact that, assuming you don't get all the money that you need to do all the things that have been put on the table, this is how you envision it to be. I think that committee needs to hear that sooner than later. One last comment for me, and it's a question. And I know I should know this, but maybe someone here does. The bottom line is does this committee write the ballot question to be taken to the commission?
I don't think so.
So all this, not all, but this committee simply identifies funding sources.
Tax or taxes to be imposed.
Very good, because that's the key point, because I think that's where maybe there's some confusion here. It's as though they're trying to write the ballot question. And
spend X amount.
I think that we need to get that clarified before the next meeting.
We have public comment here, and let's invite Mr. Campbell, Todd Campbell, to the mic.
First of all, I thought, Todd Campbell, first of all, I thought today's SB154 meeting was the best performance so far by staff and the trustees. I thought the spreadsheet was a great way of expressing the problem, and I saw the conversation shift among committee members the minute they had that in their hands. It's also, today was the first time I heard the words pay-as-you-go in the discussion. I think you're right, the SB154 committee has nothing to do with writing the ballot question. However, those are all the different political factions, whatever you want to say, that eventually are going to go out in the community and support you or not support you. So their opinion is key, and the legislation was intended to give this board a guide in what to actually put on the ballot, because ultimately this board will be responsible for what goes on the ballot with the county commission's approval. And then the discussion about all the mechanics of how this board makes decisions will be decided in November, depending on who's running for the school board. To me, the biggest thing that happened today was Governor Gibbons showed up to the meeting. And I want to thank Governor Gibbons for coming to that meeting today. The governor has been with taxpayers for a long time, all the way back to his tax restraint initiative, Education First initiative. He fulfilled his promises of no new taxes at the legislature last year. And SB 154 is working within that format. And so by him showing up today shows that he's standing here now after all that, after no new taxes, the education, the tax restraint initiative. He was there today saying, okay, so I'm listening, what are we going to do now that we're here? And I think that's an important sign that the governor's office cares about this issue, and he's willing to stop by for an hour and listen to what's going on. And I think that's an important turning point. The last thing I would say is, just to reiterate, it does come down to the policy. You need to take some kind of policy statement or something back to that committee. And I think you're still going to get something out of the committee if that doesn't happen, but politically you're going to be in a much stronger position if you have that. Thank you very much.